partly my interest in this, in studying analysts' influences on how firms respond to these new technologies is, just from talking to managers of public firms about their challenges and how, not only is sort of the internal challenge of responding to these things difficult with culture change and things like that, but the pressures that they get from the market. So I've been very curious about this for a while. I think that the big factor that affected this whole topic for me, the big trigger, was reading about Kodak, which I had been studying for a while, and having analysts say Kodak was late to respond to digital or didn't respond to digital, which is not true. Kodak made the first digital camera in 1991. So it's got to be some other factors that caused Kodak to be not good at responding, but it's not that they were late. In general, analysts become more negative toward companies, so their recommendations change, from maybe buy or strong buy to hold or sell, so they get more negative about companies as companies are faced with these major technological changes anyway. But over and above that, we found that analysts become more negative as firms are trying to make investments to respond to the new technology. So firms have to try to, access new knowledge, develop new capabilities. These things cost money. Their longer term kinds of investments tend to increase for the companies that are trying to respond to these things. Analysts get more negative when that happens. And then we specifically found in this study that as analysts become more negative, firms tended to retreat. So they tended to cut their investments in, and this is pretty significant. The more that they faced negative analyst recommendations, the more they cut their investments and appear to sort of retreat from responding to the new technologies. We all have known for a long time that responding to these changes is difficult internally. Any kind of change, competitive changes like Best Buy, there are things that you need to learn to do differently. There are you might need to hire new people, you might need to change the culture. And I think that the idea that there are these pretty significant pressures from this whole set of external stakeholders that might have, for whatever reason, views that are not exactly the kind of long-term survival of the company views that the managers have, it's important to understand that these pressures are there. So additional constraints that managers face. And as I study this more, I'll be able to have more sort of prescriptions or ideas about how managers might be able to, who's been successful at trying to balance the internal challenges with the external pressures that might constrain you more than you were thinking.